Yes.
So what kind of contingency do you have when you go direct and then maybe you don't respond correctly? So do you back up into attraction?
Yeah, basically the idea is you have a certain passive value. You have a certain, like, they look at you and you have a certain X value, you know, on a scale of like 1 to 10. And then when you approach and you make a really strong first impression, that gives you another X amount of points. So you maybe, let's say, you're like a 5, and your approach is so strong, you're like a 7. But maybe, you know, and if that's good enough, they open up really well. They like you from the very beginning. This is what I call sticking their approach. Because, I mean, it would be great to be Brad Pitt and have all this attraction, but the reality is, the fuckable line is not here. The fuckable line is just here, okay? You only need to stick your approach and just be at the fuckable line, and just stay above it. Alright? That's it. I mean, you know, I kind of like label myself as the laziest pickup artist because the least amount of work for the maximum amount of pussy. Yeah. So I just stay there, and if I don't stick to the approach, or she has like a higher kind of value, that's when I would go like more the classic mystery Venusian art style. I might throw in a little nag at that point because, you know, she is deluded if she believes that she's better than me. All right, and you go back and you banter, you go into traction. Yes.
I guess you just touched on it a little bit. But
No.
I was going to ask if you throw in any time constraints or nags right off the bat. Or
No. Basically, I believe time constraints. Again, this is my own opinion, and it works for me. Time constraint serves as the fact that if you don't stick to your approach, you kind of need that disarming in order to make sure that the girls aren't skeptical. If I stick to the approach and she likes me from the very beginning, she won't want me to leave anyway. Okay? Especially if you engage like a high, you know, body temperature. You guys familiar with body temperature? If they have high body temperature, that they're laughing, they're enjoying you, they're enjoying your presence, then that skeptical part of their brain is locked down. They're not asking, why is this guy coming out? You know, what does he want from me? They're laughing and they're enjoying your presence.
I think that's true, but logically, even two scenarios. When you get attraction off the bat, two you don't. The false time constraint is thrown in there. You really, it may be redundant, maybe not necessary, but you don't lose anything from throwing it. Make sense?
Right.
So as a default pattern, so to speak, especially starting off, like he's right. I don't use that a lot of times either. But I think at the beginning it's good to do it.
Yeah,
it won't hurt you if it's in there.
Yeah, I was about to say, one of the things about direct is you need to be competent at a lot of the different skill sets before you should graduate up to practicing it. To me, I think indirect is really good, and that's where I started off. It allows you to work on approaching well, conversation, banter, learning just like social human dynamics. And then when you have a certain amount of passive value, when you're skilled, you're not a newbie anymore, then I would say, okay, start experimenting with it. Because one of the biggest problems I see with newbies is what I call D, that dominance phase. And that's where the boys are separated from the men. I think it's phase shifting for you guys. Going more sexual, okay? Because she doesn't want to talk to a boy or a toddler, she wants to talk to a man. And that is what I see is like a huge problem, especially since I tend to specialize in Asian. I find that to be one of the #1 problems when it comes to Asian guys. It really is like, you know, a lot of Asian guys are either just shy or they're asexual. You know what? Get it out of the way. Just go sexual really fast, as humanly as possible. Like for example, there's the spin maneuver. You guys do the spin? You teach the spin maneuver?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice little BT spike, right? But if I could like bar you, okay. So you do the spin maneuver, right? And it goes like, oh, wee, whatever. My version of it is like this, all right? Good. All right. Oh, stop. Nice. All right. Like that. And the thing is, you have to remember, attractive women, they'll spend 1 to 2 hours getting dressed up. They want to be appreciated. They want to know that the time spent is time well spent. They just don't want to be appreciated by a creep, right? So if you come in and you're above her fuckable line, you are at what she considers an attractive social male. A confident guy that is already part of her social circle, or could be part of her social circle, she will feel flattered. She'll be like, okay, little tingling, you know, little something, something down there in the JJ. Any questions? Yes.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, I have trouble getting away with some of that stuff. What do you do to, I guess, get to that point, and what do you do to calibrate it so that you can, you know, come up and just pick them up or do whatever and have it not feel creepy and have it work?
A lot of it comes with, basically, it's compliance testing, if you will. And part of compliance testing is you make good eye contact, you smile, you BT spike, you do it to make sure they laugh. I'm sure you have some sort of gamuts or routines that are guaranteed, like 99% of the time. We'll make them laugh. And once they're laughing, you go. Because again, the principle is if they're in a bind state, they won't care. It makes absolutely no sense as to why you're picking her up, but you make her laugh, you do it, then by doing that, it makes her even more logically disengaged. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And for you, I think, because maybe part of the problem is you look really young.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get the question, like, how old are you? A lot?
Yeah.
All right, here's the right answer. Old enough to know how and young enough to go all night long. Question over here?
I would say, I didn't ask that question, I just started thinking like, guess low or guess high. Like, you know? And they say guess high, I'm like, oh, you're close, you're good.
I'm gonna give you guys the Asian Fountain of Youth kiss close. Okay. Any of you guys that look young and you just want to use some sort of uniqueness about your identity to your purpose. So you're accused of being young because you're Asian. And I'm like, you know what? I'm Asian. I get the Asian discount. I always look 10 years younger. Okay? But yeah, I always, it's like if I was to have babies with you, an interracial baby. Oh my God, did you know that Keanu Reeves, Tiger Woods, interracial babies are the most gorgeous. They've shown this in the entire world. But then I'll go into, the fairy tale of how in European fairy tale how the princess will kiss a toad and then it will turn into a very handsome prince. Well, in Asia, we have a very similar fairy tale. Did you know if you kissed an Asian man, you become 10 years younger?
I'm using that one tonight.
There you go. There you go.
Better write
Yes, question.
Let's say you go with a direct opener,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, maybe her line is too high, but the interaction's not really going well. What are some suggestions for rolling off so that you kind of save face and also from other perspectives around the room, you don't look like you've been blown out?
Oh, you'll be blown out. The thing is, it is a one-shot deal. That is one thing I forgot to say. I find it to be very effective, but at the same time, if it doesn't work, you're done. One thing you can do though, I call it the boomerang, is in order to reboot conversation or make a strong second impression. You can do this while in set in order to reboot the conversation, or you can do like an Australian boomerang. And if you see her, you're gonna reapproach her. And this is how it goes. So I see her again, and I'll go like, oh my God, I almost made a huge mistake tonight. I was talking to a beautiful girl, and I didn't even introduce myself. Hi, my name is JT. Right? That way, you're making another strong second impression. And, either you made a first strong impression and you want to keep at that line, or you kind of flubbed the first time and you want to see if you can get it back. But again, that is one of the consequences or disadvantages of direct. It's basically one shot, one killed.